What's up, guys? My name is Jason Ackerman. I'm a CrossFit level 4 coach. Been around the game for a long time. For those of you that don't know me, found CrossFit in 2006, opened my first CrossFit affiliate in 2007. From there, I opened and sold 3 CrossFit affiliates. I've been a part of the CrossFit seminar staff for 10 years, judged at the CrossFit Games, and so many other little things. But today, we're going to talk about the medicine ball clean. The medicine ball clean is a movement that often gets bastardized, it gets mocked, it gets made fun of, but the truth is, it's one of the best movements you can do for yourself, for your own training, and certainly if you're looking to improve as a coach, it's one of the best movements you can be coaching your athletes. So many people think they're above the medicine ball clean. Newsflash, you are not. If you're watching this video, you probably, let me rephrase that. If you're watching this video, you need to be doing more medicine ball cleans. For those of you that have done the medicine ball clean in workouts, you know it absolutely trashes and demolishes your lower body. If we think about it, it's 2 squats. Let me show you 2 med ball cleans. Give you 2 different angles, straight ahead. From the side here. So you're squatting to pick the ball up. You're re-squatting under the ball. It's a squat clean. And for those of you that can power clean more than you can squat clean, for one, we have a serious technique issue. But secondly, you can use this medicine ball clean to improve your ability to move a barbell. Now, I'm going to give you a few different components of the medicine ball clean. We're going to break down into a progression, and we can use that progression to not only improve your ability to move, but also improve your ability to coach, improve your ability to teach, see, and correct. So the progression we're going to use today is the same progression that we use at the CrossFit Level 1 seminar. Here's what it is. It's going to be a deadlift, then it's going to be a deadlift shrug, then it's going to be a front squat, then we're going to shrug and pull under, then we'll tie all those together. One more thing I want to say about the medicine ball clean, and the reason we should be using it is for so many people, they come into CrossFit for the first time and they're completely intimidated by a barbell. Right? I've got a 7-foot piece of steel over there, and it's scary for a lot of people. Plus it weighs 45 pounds or 35 pounds, depending on what type of bar you're using. And for so many people, for grandma, this is the teddy bear of CrossFit. This is so much easier for them to wrap their heads around and so much less intimidating. Coach Glassman once said, "The needs of Olympic athletes and our grandparents differ by intensity, not by kind." More simply put, we all need to do these movements. We all need to squat, we all need to deadlift, we all need to jerk and put weight overhead. However, the intensity is relative. The Olympic athletes, they're going to go 300, 400, 500 pounds. Grandma, a 20-pound medicine ball, maybe a 6-pound medicine ball. So, hope that helps. Tuck your shirt in. Make all the ball jokes you want. Clean your balls, grab your balls, wipe your balls off. Whatever you want to do, get those jokes out of the way. They're not that funny anyway, and we're going to do some medicine ball cleans. So, one more time, let me show you what it is. Here we go. And we'll stand back up. We're going to break this down. Like I said, we're going to break it down into 4 components, and the first one's going to be simply the deadlift. No different than you do with the bar. Now, when I coach the medicine ball clean, I like to keep the laces out. Laces out, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel, Ace Ventura reference. For those of you born after 1990, you're going to have to Google it. We'll come back to the laces out reason in a minute, but think about the deadlift here as your feet are going to be outside of the ball, right? We have to accommodate a ball versus a barbell. So your feet are going to be outside the ball, and because of that, you can actually be a little squattier in your setup here, because I don't have to worry about my knees. So you're going to set up here, you're going to brace, you're going to flex your abs, and you're just going to stand up. Boom. Reset, stand up. Now, from both the athlete and coaching perspective, I'll give you a few things to think about. For one, I want you to think about flexing your triceps. Boom, boom, right? The reason we like to flex our triceps here is because our arms should not be bending yet. As Coach Bergner likes to say, when the arms bend, the power ends. So for this movement, for this portion of it, our arms need to stay long. So for one, we're going to keep those arms long. And secondly, we're going to think about squeezing our butt. And if you're teaching this movement, That's really all I need you to do. So knowing you need to see your athlete squeeze their butt, where do you think you should be looking? Right at their butt. You want to see this nice straight line here. So when I stand up, you're looking straight arms, open hips, or butt squeeze. Get tall, right? Or get 5'3" in my case. But that's all we're thinking about. Stand. Boom. And if I were coaching this, I would be saying stand, reset. Step number 1 out of the way, the deadlift. Now we're going to add the shrug. So we're going to deadlift shrug. Here's what it looks like. Laces continue to face out. I'm going to say go, or I might say stand, and I would do this. Reset. One more time. So now we're looking at that core to extremity piece. The Olympic lifts, we really need to maximize using that core before sending off to our shoulders, that shrug before eventually pulling under the ball or the bar. So knowing that, as a coach, that's what I want you to look for. Are we seeing those hips open? Are we seeing that butt squeeze before we see those shoulders rise up? Now we're teaching the deadlift shrug, but the truth of the matter is, if you get your athletes moving fast enough, I'd have them focus simply on their hips. The shrug's gonna happen pretty naturally. And I want you to think like I asked you a tough question. What'd you have for dinner last night? I don't know. That's all you need to be thinking about. Arms stay straight still, right? Because when the arms bend, what happens? The power ends. So it's a deadlift shrug. Where are you looking? You're looking here and here. Hips, shrug. That's it. I wouldn't have my athletes hold the shrug. As soon as they open their hips, they pop their shoulders, they come right back down. Because we're never going to teach this position in the real world. So deadlift shrug, that's what we're thinking about. Core to extremity. Now, before we have people pull under the ball, let's make sure they're confident, they're competent, and they have the capacity to squat. So we're going to front squat. I like to tell people you get to do one bicep curl. There it is. So put that ball in the rack position. Everything we talk about when it comes to the squat is going to hold true. We're just going to have a ball in the rack position. So this is different than a barbell. We're not going to have those elbows super high. You're going to think about having those elbows supporting that ball, maybe eyes glancing over the ball or slightly in front of your face. This is what our squat's going to look like. I'm going to say down. You're going to squat down. Hip crease below your knees. And then I would say stand. Boom. So let's talk about when we think about the squat, we want to see heels, knees, depth, arch, line of action. Those are the 5 points of performance that we want to see in the air squat, and we want to see those carried over to the front squat here. Let me repeat those for you. Heels, knees, depth, arch, line of action. What am I referring to? Heels. And my weight is rooted through my heels. I don't know if you can see my heels in that video, but I can wiggle my toes and my weight's there. Knees. What do I mean by knees? It means I'm pushing my knees so they're tracking over the toes. Boom. Spreading the ground out. If you were standing on a horse stall mat, say at your gym, or you were standing on a piece of paper, like you're trying to spread them apart, like you're trying to rip them open. A good cue that I like to do for that when we're teaching the squat or even going over this is stand up nice and tall and let those knees push out. Put your hands on the sexiest butt in the room. Maybe you're with somebody else, but for right now, put them on your own butt. And push those knees out and squeeze your butt as hard as you can. Feel how you can flex your butt there? Now, relax, let those knees cave in, try to flex your butt. Not happening, right? That's why we like to push those knees out. Well, it's a safer position. Anatomically, it's correct. But also, it can recruit a whole lot more musculature by driving those knees out. So we've got heels, we've got knees. When I said depth earlier, hip crease right here. Knee down here. I want to see your hip crease below your knees. Doesn't have to be ass to grass, just has to be below parallel. That's all we're thinking about. For a lot of people, we struggle getting that full range of motion. Pushing those knees open will help you sink down below parallel. Heels, knees, depth, and when I say arch, I just mean solid midline. We don't want to be rounded. We also don't want to be overextended. So think about, for me, I wake up in the morning, flex my abs in front of the mirror. You do it too, don't lie. But I flex those abs. That's a pretty simple cue that you can use for yourself, or you can use for your athletes. You can walk around, tell them you're gonna punch them in the stomach, but just tell them to flex those abs. And then this way, When they're squatting, they're bracing. When they're standing, keeping that neutral spine. We're keeping everything from here to here nice and solid. Lastly, line of action. That simply means I want to see my butt travel back as my knees bend. The opposite of that would be watch my knees. Sending my knees forward first, then sending my butt back. Watch, done properly, boom. Think about, you come home from grocery shopping, you're gonna make one trip to the front door, whether you have 2 bags of groceries or 20 bags of groceries. I know you're gonna do it because it's exactly what I do. You leave that car door open, here's your cue, boom, shut that car door, continue to squat down. So, as a coach, that's a lot to look at. Maybe focus on one of those things each rep. Heels, cool, check, do another rep. Knees, cool, check, cool, do another rep. Full range of motion, check, moving on. 4th step of the progression is going to be the shrug and pull over. This is really where the magic happens. This is the meat and potatoes of dinner. This is where, for those of you that struggle with your squat clean, you can do this with a medicine ball, and you can also do it with a barbell. We call it the shrug and pull under. So let me show you one head on. So I'm here, I'm already at hip extension. I'm squeezing my butt. On go, I shrug, and I pull under the ball. Stand up, I do it from the side. See, I'm already at hip extension. Shrug, pull under the ball. Now, what are we thinking about here? We've already got that hip extension, so we don't really have to worry about that. We want to see that pull under done correctly. We want to see that we get that powerful shrug, and the arms are bending now, right? Going back to what I said, when the arms bend, the power ends. We've maximized that power. The arms are going to bend. If we talk about the 3rd pull of the clean or snatch, it's actually pulling yourself under the object, in this case the medicine ball. So that 3rd pull, got that big powerful shrug, I bend those elbows to pull myself down. Boom. The truth is, this ball should rise no higher than I've shrugged it. It might travel up another inch, maybe, because of the speed and velocity on it, but this should be the max height of it. This is what I'm telling you guys. If you struggle to squat clean, it's because at this point you're trying to pull that ball up and power clean it. You need to get better at this. Boom, drop. Now, some things we can look at. If you remember earlier, laces out, Finkel, laces out, Einhorn. That's why, because I want to see that at the start of this movement, as well as at the finish, boom, the laces are still out. What that means is I've not curled the ball, I've not spun the ball, I've not thrown the ball to myself, I pulled myself under the ball. So coach's eyes on those laces, coach's eyes watching that ball stays nice and tight to you, and your athletes are pulling yourself under. If you have an athlete that's curling or bringing it way out in front, you can have them do it in front of the wall, maybe throw a dunce cap on them, put them in the corner of the room, but if they go to curl it, they're gonna smack the ball. If you trust them, you can stand there as a coach and say, hey, please don't hit me, and that's gonna help them keep that ball nice and tight to your body. Because think about a barbell. Boom, a straight bar path is an easy bar path. It's the same thing we want with this medicine ball. All right, so we've deadlifted plus shrugged, we've front squatted, now we've shrugged and pulled under. We're gonna tie it all back together. I'm gonna show you the most common mistake you're gonna see and something you can work on. So again, we're gonna do a medicine ball clean. I'm gonna stand up. Now, for some reason, we get to this full movement, the first thing that goes, the most important thing we wanna see is that hip extension. This is where the power happens. This is where we generate that power from. In addition, when we talk about transferability to other movements, there aren't many movements in the gym, specifically in a CrossFit gym, that don't require powerful hip extension. All good things come from powerful hip extension, right? So, what I want you guys to focus on, I'm gonna do 3 reps. And you guys can think about it in your head, you can comment below, you can do whatever you want. But I'm gonna show you some good reps and some bad reps, and I want you to keep an eye, and I'll tell you what I did after. So I'll give you 4. Ready? You're only watching here. You're gonna tell me, did I open my hips or did I miss hip extension? That's all you need to focus on. Here we go. Stand up. Keep that in mind. That was number 1. Number 2, watch my hips. Stand up. Number 3. And number 4. So you tell me right now what you think. There's right or wrong answers, but I'm not judging you. I'm going to tell you right now, number 1, yes, I opened my hips. I thought about squeezing my butt really hard. Number 2, number 3, and number 4, I did not open my hips. And they got a little bit better each time, but I didn't open my hips. And that's something you need to think about. Don't let your eyes get used to shitty movement. Now, don't say that to your athletes that you're coaching. They'll take great offense to that. But what that really means is, if somebody's giving you 90% right there, right? I'm here, but I'm not there. You gotta coach them. That's why they pay you. That's why they come to your box. That's why you're a coach, to get them better. Don't let your eyes get used to shitty movement. Don't let Karen tell you how to coach. That's just me, I don't quite open my hips. Bullshit, Karen. You gotta open your hips. That goes for anybody. That's how you get these new athletes improving, but at the same time, keep those higher level, those better long-term veteran athletes motivated to come to class, to get into your box, to take your class specifically, because they know you're not gonna let them get away with that piss poor movement. You're always getting them better. You gotta be on it. Now, praise them as well. Compliment sandwich. Hey, great speed pulling under that ball. What I'd love to see is you squeeze your butt a little bit higher, but man, you finish with a solid rack position. Boom, boom, boom. That's why I'm still married, because I know how to do the compliment sandwich, and that's something you need to think about as well. So, very brief rundown of the medicine ball clean. Give you a couple quick workouts maybe you can do with the medicine ball clean if you've not done. I just hit one in my garage here. It was 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 medicine ball cleans and AMAT sit-ups. Another favorite of mine, if you have a rower, is 3 rounds of 1K row, 50 medicine ball cleans. Either one of those workouts is gonna light up your legs. You're probably gonna be a little bit sore the next day. But here's what I hoped. I hoped if you're watching me because you wanna improve your movement, you got something to think about. Most importantly, squeezing your butt. And I also want you to take from this from the coach's perspective that each one of those steps is very specifically put there because it's going to help us build on each previous step to get to that full movement. And all you have to do is worry about one thing. If you're a newer coach, there's so much to look at. This is an explosive movement. It's an Olympic lift. It's the world's fastest movement. If you try to watch too much, you see nothing. So let me remind you, the deadlift, what are you looking at? Boom, you're looking to make sure your athlete squeezes their butt, stands up nice and tall. The deadlift shrug, we're looking, do we squeeze our butt? Then do we shrug? The front squat, we're checking all those things we look for in a regular squat. Heels, knees, depth, arch, line of action. The shrug pull under, are we getting that big shrug? And then that solid receiving position while keeping those laces out. And then finally that full movement, are we continuously squeezing our butt and opening our hips? That's where the power happens. So, for those of you just learning this medicine ball clean, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions about it, please post it below the comments, whether you have questions as an athlete, you have questions as a coach, you have questions about why my shirt is tucked in. It's just what I do. I grew up wrestling. I always tuck my shirt in before my workouts. My friends make fun of me. I don't care. It's just who I am. And at 42 years old, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. So I hope that helps. If you enjoyed this and you want to see more movements, you want to see me break down more movements, let me know what movements you want to see in the comments below. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends and family, send it to grandma. Hey grandma, you need to medicine ball clean, you need to get your ass to grass, you need to get below parallel, because guess what? I don't want to wipe your ass in the future. That's what I tell my mom, you better be squatting, because I'm not wiping your ass. So if you don't want to wipe mom's ass one day, have her medicine ball clean, give her some coaching, make it fun, because that's really all this is. It's fitness. It's just exercise, people. Have some fun while doing it. Keep doing it forever.